we rolling?
Yes, we're rolling.
Oh, good. Strong intro.
Very strong. Good. You want to listen, don't you?
Coming in hot.
Yeah. Hey, Leann, you know this is episode 10.
What?
We're in double digits.
What's the 10-year anniversary? What am I supposed to buy you? Is that wood? Silver?
I think you sing me a song.
Sing you a song?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. All right, hold on.
Nope.
I'm going to pull up a backing track. I'm going to do it properly if I'm going to sing you a song.
Yes. Okay, so this is episode 10 of Leann and Michelle Think They're Funny. Thanks for joining us, either over the podcast airwaves or here on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We do actually finally put our videos
Been
on
together
YouTube.
for so long. 10 whole episodes.
It's a really long time.
Thank you for
I'm
that.
giving anecdotes.
Got it. I didn't know if you wanted to jump in.
No, I don't want to
sing.
sing. I want to talk.
Okay. But my love for you is still strong. Every episode it grows.
Wow.
We're talking about things we think we know about. But this one I know for sure. You're the Michelle to my Leann forevermore.
Forever.
That was like Nickelback at the end. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I did.
That's where I went. The other day, I was singing Nickelback. My friend put me on hold. She's like, hang on, I got to order my Starbucks drink. I was like, cool. And I started singing Nickelback at the top of my lungs.
Did she come back?
I was on speaker very much the whole time that she was ordering. I was annoyed that she put me on hold, so I was singing Photograph as loudly as I could.
Gosh. Look at this photograph.
That's not a bad
We
right there.
wrote a parody about that one time. Did it ever?
No, that would never saw the light.
That never saw the light. What was it?
We do a whole
I think
episode of parodies that never made it.
Oh, we should.
It's a lot.
Look at this. Wasn't it a pumpkin spice latte? Was it? We did a bunch of
man,
pumpkin
I
spice
don't even
latte.
remember, girl.
Anyway.
I think it was a pumpkin spice latte song. I'm sure
was
you're
it?
right.
Was it? You ready?
What?
Mom's Bop. Your favorite.
Save that for the episode where we talk about things that never actually came to fruition.
Mom's Bop is going to happen.
For
you guys.
good reason.
It's happening.
It's
some point. It's going to happen. Mom's Bop is going to take off like wildfire, and you're going to be. I'm going to be an Enneagram 6 saying, I told you so.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this episode, we're going to be talking about really terrible things that have happened to us on stage.
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, we've had overwhelmingly positive experiences on stage overall.
Yes.
The good memories came to mind faster than the bad ones. In fact, right before we started rolling, I was like, Michelle, remind me, which shows were our bad shows? And she was like, this one. Oh, yeah, and also this one. And then there was that one time. So I was like, yeah, okay.
Yes. But we've had some great shows. We've had the blessing of being able to travel all over the country. We've done shows in Florida, Colorado, Minnesota, California.
Exotic Minnesota.
Yes. Ooh, we loved our Great Lakes tour. That was amazing.
Yes.
Actually, neither one of those made our bad shows list. Oh, and
No.
once Texas, too. Yeah, so we've been a lot of places.
And true story, I would like to go back to Duluth. We performed in Duluth, was one of the stops.
Yes.
I would love to go back to Duluth with my family. It was one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen.
It was breathtakingly beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink this coffee for a minute.
Duluth, bring us back. We want to come back. Okay. Okay, so this episode, we're going to call this, what? Leann and Michelle Think They Know.
Well, this is about
The
to get
stage.
wordy. I can feel it.
Leann and Michelle Think They Know. Live performances.
I think we're going to title this one I wanted to say posthumously, but that's not the right word. That's after you die. Not planning on dying. We'll title this one later.
Okay, sure. Okay, so let's...
Maybe the title will just find us as we yammer on. That's probably what'll happen.
That's probably what's going to happen. Okay, so first of all, let's discuss the show... Which one? I want to save California for last. Oh, let's talk about Alt Summit.
Okay, let's talk about Alt Summit. Okay. So tell them what it is, Michelle.
So Alt Summit is a huge conference. It's held every year in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
I think it started off in Utah, but now it's in Palm Springs every year. Thousands of influencers come. It's a great conference for learning about ways to promote yourself online and video content and creative content. A lot of really, really, really creative people. And I have had my eyeball on it, and they opened up a query for speakers, and they had a new category for performances. So we applied to perform comedy.
And they were like, please, we must have you guys. And we were like, since you begged.
Yeah, we're going to pay you a ton. No, they didn't pay us. But they had their first ever closing concert. And so at first we were brought on to do a bit, and then that grew into we were the MCs of the whole event.
Right.
Not the whole event, the whole closing concert.
It snowballed. And so immediately when I walked into we've played enough shows now that you know just by looking at the venue how easy it's going to be to reach the people who are watching you. It was a long, narrow room set up with high bar tables, remember?
Yep.
So immediately we knew people were going to be eating and drinking and that they were going to be really far away from us. Now, improv, people have to be listening or the scene doesn't make any sense. Like you can't just kind of check in, check out.
No, you have to pay attention.
So immediately we knew it was going to be a tough room. And it was also very clearly set up for a concert.
Yes. And so they had a really great lineup of musicians. They had Brooke White, and then they had your best friend, Courtney.
Yes. She's a Broadway star.
So we had a great lineup. So imagine a shoebox. Okay, there's the shape of a shoebox. And so one end, the skinny end, is the stage.
Yep.
And the other end is the bar where all the high tops are. And right in front of the stage are maybe 10 tables with seats. And then the middle is just open space, like a dance floor.
Yeah.
And so there was only a few seats in the front for people, and that's really what you want for a comedy show. You want people to sit and listen. So anyway, we were just kind of doomed from the start. We did our best, but it was not our best work.
Our philosophy is we never blame the room. Like that's really been our challenge to ourselves is no matter how hard the room is, we always say, but how could we have overcome it? How could we have been better? That show, I also, if I'm remembering correctly, your microphone gave out.
Yes, it did. That's right.
And so for also half of the scene, the percentage of the crowd that was trying to listen couldn't hear half of the dialogue.
That's right.
So we did have a pretty unlucky deck for that show. And actually, that was the show that prompted us to buy megaphones. Do you remember that?
We bring them with us everywhere.
We're going to bring our megaphones.
But then we didn't bring them with us to Dallas. Which is our next bad show we want to talk about. This was the last time I was on a plane.
Okay.
Since the pandemic. Probably you too.
Okay.
It was February of 2020.
Right.
Right after we got back from Orlando. A week later, we got in a plane. You remember this? You blocked it out.
I blocked it out.
Right. A week after we got back from our big Orlando trip, that show went fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to say Orlando was great. I hope you're
We
not
got on a
putting
plane.
that
We
on.
went to Dallas.
Okay.
Remember Torchy's Tacos? Golly, Leanne.
I remember eating at Torchy's Tacos with you. Why am I not remembering the show? Jog my mem.
Okay. So we were
That's short
invited.
from memory.
We were invited to Dallas to perform a show. We flew to Dallas, and then it was like a one night. We were a quick turnaround. You didn't even bring the baby. It was really quick. And
So I was probably grouchy again.
we performed, and there was a misunderstanding because we had been real clear about the type of room that we need, and we needed a raised stage, and we needed sound equipment, and we needed a video.
Oh, okay. Now I remember. Now I'm
and
in
we
the
needed
room.
a video, thing, and so that was it. On top of that, you were really sick. In fact, I tried
right.
24 hours before we left to get different people, because some of the gals that are now on our comedy crew, actually, I tried to get one of them to come with me. They couldn't.
I had no voice. Like
Your voice was
it was
shot.
gone.
We had our friend Haley White in California. I tried to see if she could come meet me in Dallas to do the show.
right.
And then you were like, well, I'm going to suck it up and come. But we didn't know how your voice was going to be.
Right.
So through the improv world, we connected with an improv school in Dallas. And the gal who owns it sent 2 moms.
Super sweet ladies. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but very inexperienced at improv. And so we met them in the afternoon in the hotel and tried to run through it. It was very evident that we were going to still need to carry the majority of the weight ourselves. We weren't going to be able to rely on them to really, and nothing against them. They were fantastic. It takes a long time to get the kind of rapport and mind read that we have together on stage. So anyway,
Sounds to me like you were bad mouthing both of them.
I'm not bad mouthing. They were very sweet.
Well, it's pretty clear to me that that's what was going on. They were sweet, willing, and brave, and they jumped on the stage with us. And they had some shining moments.
They did. They had some really funny moments. But I think part of the problem with the show was not only the room, which we'll talk about in a second, but was also the fact that I felt we needed to let them shine a little bit.
That's right.
And I spent probably too much time trying to set them up as opposed to just you and I doing our show.
You were also trying to save my voice for the games where you thought you should.
Yeah.
And we were trying to make the best decisions for the show overall. And the truth was I was just feeling so crummy.
Yeah.
And This was right before coronavirus.
Oh, yeah, this
became a thing.
It was already around, but this was.
But it wasn't a pandemic yet. Like nothing was shut down. No one was, everything was still like.
No,
normal.
nothing was shut down. It was February 20th, though, around that time.
Yeah.
So it was right before, it was like early March that we got shut down. So it was right before the world closed.
Right.
And I do remember you weren't feeling well and you actually put a toilet paper roll in your fanny pack. Like you strung it on the strap of
to
your
blow my
fanny pack
nose
so you could have like access to tissue paper. If you did that now, people would be like, get away from me, coronavirus lady.
Seriously. I know. I was just thinking you would never, ever go anywhere sick now. It's so funny. It's like a different thing.
So the room, they did their best, but again, it was hors d'oeuvres and drinks and people were loud and our audio, I felt so bad for the guy who organized it because the audio company she hired,
the audio,
they really failed her and us in their audio equipment that they brought.
Yeah.
Remember the video screen didn't work, so our intro video and our video for like we're supposed to change into costumes and so nothing was working. And then we lost the room.
Yes.
And I remember I need to trust my improv partner. I insisted on doing this one last game and you were like, no, we've lost them. We need to stop. And I was like, oh, we can do it. And then it was horrible.
The problem is Michelle sees an empty stage and she can't not fill it. It's true. It's very true.
That's true. So anyway, so that was and that was another top 3 of our worst shows. But the number one takes the cake. This is the show that my aunt and cousin and high school friends traveled to see.
It's in Anaheim, right?
The only time they've ever seen me on stage, it was in Orange County, California, 2 years ago.
I was very pregnant with Finn.
So yeah, 2 years ago.
Yes.
In the fall, though.
2.5.
Hey, you want to tell them what happened?
So we collaborated with some super funny moms from Orange County. They have
a podcast, actually. It's called They See Me Mommin'.
There you go.
It's cute. They're cute.
They're fantastic. And we love these girls. And we were so excited to be doing a collaborative show with them. And about, I don't know, halfway through the show, I fell.
Leeann, at this point, is visibly pregnant, kind of like you are now.
Yes, but even more so.
Even more so.
I mean, I was swole. And I was great with child. Like right now I'm good with child. I was great with child. Yes. Like I fell and it was immediately evident that my baby was fine because my knees took it. My knees took the hit. And I knew the baby, nothing got near my belly. It was fine. But the whole room, it's a room full of moms, you guys. There is an audible
gasp
of horror.
Yeah.
The air is sucked out of the room, and I look in the audience, and I get up, and I'm quick to reassure them, I'm fine, it's okay.
You have a great character.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is always awkward, but in that moment, it was important for them to know I did not make contact. My belly did not make contact with earth, okay? Yeah. And they could not recover from that, nor could I.
No. It was very hard to recover after that.
Yeah, very few things feel funny after a pregnant lady falls down.
Yep. Well, here's the deal: is that we do a good job.
We do.
And here those are 3 of our worst shows, embarrassing moments. Yes. But we're willing to admit our mistakes. But for those 3 shows, there's
so many good ones.
So many good ones. Okay, well, those are our worst shows ever. Have you ever seen us live? We'd love to hear from you guys. Hopefully you weren't at one of those shows, but maybe you saw Colorado Springs was a great show.
Yes. Orlando
was fantastic. Duluth, Minneapolis. We've had a lot of great shows too. And several here in Arizona. So we'd love to hear from you if you've seen one of our shows.
Yeah, let us know.
All right, next segment.
Take it or shake it. Oh, is it don't you know?
Oh, do I have to take it or shake it? Okay.
So you're going to ask me how I would have handled something?
Okay, yes.
Oh, boy. But wait a minute. Usually, this is a very special edition of Take It or Shake It. Because usually, we're taking questions from friends, followers, whatever. Today you're going to ask me a question. Now you're usually the advice giver. Why?
Right. Well, there's a situation that happened to me recently that I feel I very much want to know what you would have done in the situation. So we're going to take this segment to talk about that briefly. And I'm just curious. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we had a group of our friends over.
Okay.
And it was a bunch of kids that were here.
I would have gone to my bedroom and hid. Next question.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
I know. And they were here for dinner or whatever, and we were visiting, and it was like a Friendsgiving, I think.
Okay.
And these are all my closest friends. Like,
Got it.
you know, and their kids are all of our kids are friends. And at one point, my daughter comes in to where the adults are, and she says that one of the children is using a knife to scrape our television. So I go in, and sure enough, one of the children is taking a sharp object and purposefully cutting an X into my television.
If you're not watching online, you can't see, but my mouth is open in stunned silence. Go on.
So I called the father because I felt like this was obviously something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So the father comes in and you know, reprimands the child, and it was actually getting to the point where that evening was wrapping up anyway, but that family just kind of like packed up and left right then.
Sure.
And then, you know, clearly, and the both of them said, well, obviously we're buying you a new TV, and Jason were like, no, ha ha ha. And then they left. So what would you do in that situation? I'm very curious.
Well, I'm going to start by asking some questions of you. Tell me about the damage to the television set, first of all.
There is right in the center, kind of towards the bottom, is a large two scraped and an X sign.
Does it prevent you from being able to watch television and enjoy it?
Not at night, but during the day, there's a glare that you can see. But it's not, to me, it's not. I mean, I don't put a lot. My television system, I mean, it's usually just kind of on in the background. I don't.
Sure.
I'm not a huge television.
I'm just collecting data at this point. I'm just asking questions.
Sorry.
This is one of your very closest friends.
Yes.
So this is someone that it wouldn't even be uncomfortable for you to say, hey, you know what? The TV is pretty badly dinged up. I know we were all kind of like joking around, but I actually would love it replaced. You wouldn't feel uncomfortable saying that.
If I felt that way, no.
Okay. So it doesn't sound like there's a TV that needs replacing. It doesn't sound to me, based on what I'm hearing, like the relationship is fragmented.
No.
So you're asking me what I just would have done in that moment?
Yes. And then I'm very curious because then she followed that. Either that night or the next day, she followed up and said, we would like to buy you a new TV. So what should we go and buy? Can you let us know the model you have? We'll go buy a new one, or I will Venmo money to you. So again, that's kind of what I'm getting at, I guess. What would you do in that situation?
Would I have asked them to replace the TV or not?
Would you have accepted their offer to replace the TV?
Oh, my husband and I would give different answers on this one.
Oh, okay.
Matthew is more particular about his technology than I am. Like, my laptop is banged up, the battery's hanging on by a thread. Like, it's like an old faithful situation over here.
It is, yeah.
Matt cares very much about his technology and keeping it in tip-top shape. So Matt would probably be inclined to take the friend up on their offer. I would probably have said, don't even worry about it. We still have small children in our home. Like, the odds of this being our, you know, this TV staying perfectly nice over the years is like not very high. So I probably would have said no, but I think my husband would have said yes.
So, okay, let me flip it around. What if it was you? What if your child had inflicted the damage on someone else's TV?
I would have done exactly what your friend did. I would have said, well, we're buying you a new TV. And I would have followed up the next day and said, how can we replace your television? And left the ball in your court.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds like you handled it really well.
Yeah, well, so Jason and I both were like, these are such good friends. And honestly, like the TV, I just don't hold tightly, and Jason doesn't either, to material things.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of value in the worldly things. Honestly, I'm not taking it with me when I go. Right.
Yeah.
And so,
he's a little child, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So.
And we immediately, I mean, I knew like he's old enough though that he needed like I didn't. Yeah, I called the parents in because I knew that they were going to want to discipline him. However, they disciplined him because it was that egregious of a mistake. But Jason and I were talking about like if it was one of our kids, how we probably would have.
Yeah.
We said we would have bought a TV and put it on their doorstep, but I don't know that we would have gone that far because, like you said, if it's another family with small kids, that's kind of the point of having a couple scratches on your TV is not the end of the world.
Right. Like my son got a bow and arrow for Christmas. Like.
Right.
Nothing's precious anymore to me.
Exactly. No, but that's we handled that. I mean, I actually kind of felt bad that they left so quickly after that because I was like, we don't have to let this ruin our party. But also, I think this is my 7 wing. I am an eternal optimist. The glass is always half full for me. Like, you know what? There's 4% of the TV that's scratched. 96% looks great.
Right. Totally.
I don't care. Like I always see kind of the positives. So yeah, I was just curious. I thought it was an interesting situation. I wanted to get what you.
It is.
Sounds like we're in sync on that one.
Would you have handled it differently? Let us know.
We read those too.
Okay.
So you can read any of it. Okay, well that's this episode of Leeann and Michelle Think They're Funny and talking about our worst on-stage experiences together.
Before we go, I would love to read a 5-star review that one of you awesome listeners left for us.
Ooh, okay, read it.
And to make it sound like a royal proclamation, I'd like to read it in a British dialect.
Oh, yes, your British accent is so good.
As Hunter 23 writes, because of my 5-wing, 4-wing 5 hand raised emoji, I love this podcast. And Leeann and Michelle, JK, I just love it because I'm a human. You two are the most fun, and I cannot wait for more episodes, followed by not 1, but 2 exclamation points.
Not explanation points.
No, exclamation points. I was very clear.
Oh, that was nice.
As 123, we love you back.
I just love it because I'm human. That's the best quote
You're the
ever.
sweetest.
Oh, thanks, friends. Okay, so if you want to leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts, leave 5 stars and make it kind of creative, and maybe we'll read it on our show.
That's Michelle.
And we're done. Bye-bye. Okay, that was good.